Good morning and happy April's Fool Day from Bob here at Trade Genius. Early on a Saturday morning before I head off to another volleyball tournament. But I want to talk about the markets a little bit. And I think we could be in for potentially a bloody Sunday. And I think the market will stay weak until after the Chinese president and President Trump meet, and I think they meet concludes on Wednesday, and then we go into the employment report. And the reason I say that is the way the market kind of ended on Friday after a pretty artificial push into quarter end. And I'll get to the SPY in a second, but I want to talk about my watch list, and I'm going to go from volume high to volume low. Some very interesting things happened this week, and this is the thing that's most interesting to me because all I hear from people is that the money flows will move from the United States into the emerging markets, and that sounds reasonable, except that this whole move here, and in fact, this whole move up on the emerging market since the Trump election has been on a higher dollar. And if you look here, the dollar fell on Friday. And so I'm just a little confused as to the mechanism. And correlations have just been all over the place. So it's hard to get a read right now as to what's moving what. But I thought this is interesting. And to me, stock market down, emerging markets down, that kind of smells deflationary to me, not inflationary. So something to keep an eye on. SPY. So it broke the VWAP, and then it crashed all the way down, 2 percentage points below the volume weighted moving average. And that's usually a good area to recover. And I started to recover. I took it right back up to VWAP, and then it came back off again. So I'm looking for this to roll back down again. How far, I have no clue. But there is volume areas that are below 230 that we should be keeping an eye on. So I just wanted to point that out to you that I would not be surprised to see this whole move last week taken back out. And so just bear that in mind. If we break above this VWAP line, then we're going back to new highs. So it's just something to keep an eye on. So, and not to try to be dogmatic here, but hey, here's a cup, right? And is this a handle? So time will tell. So just bear that in mind. Anything above VWAP, we're gonna try to go for new highs. But in the meantime, you got to respect the down pull. And the market right away on Friday was saying weak. Money flow was rolling over all day, and the last 15 minutes were the market just dropped 7 points like nothing. Financials are a reason, and they couldn't even make it back to its VWAP. And is it people enamored with the banks, or just it's just a head scratcher to me? Is the loan books are collapsing, and interest rates are going up, and whatever gain they're making in higher net interest received, they're losing with charge-offs and late payments and non-performing loans, and people just not taking out any loans. And so it's something to be careful about. As the bank goes, this really supports IWM. And so they really pushed it hard into Friday, and then at the end of the day, it kind of collapsed back down on itself. So I'm looking for IWM to roll over pretty hard as well. GDX. I'm going to skip GDX. I'm going to go to GDXJ because that's one of the stocks I've been touting here of late. and I'll get to it when it shows up. And you got VIX, and VIX is really weird. VIX is moving up, the SPY moving up this week, and I think volatility leads, and so I'm expecting this to continue. I think there's definitely a move up to this area here, and if not, we'll take this out, and then I think we have to respect all the way up to here, because this will translate into a VIX in the 20s, and then we'll get some things interesting. So just keep an eye on this, and this week was a couple days XIV worked, one day flat, one day didn't work. So I might have to put it on the shelf next week, at least till the end of the week. Nugget, we had a nice trade in Nugget, so we bought Nugget at the open at 885, and I put a stop on it when it got up to 930 at 915, and then that stop got taken out. So I'm a happy camper, a nice quick easy trade, and I'm a little nervous now that it kind of sold it back down. And I know a lot of people are thinking now maybe the miners and gold are going to start moving. I don't know. The charts are kind of a mixed bag. It's just that when the dollar fell and the yen didn't get ramped overnight, I just saw an opportunity and we just grabbed Nugget. But this is the second time I've had to do a Nugget day trade. It's getting too nerve-wracking to hold these things. And here's what the day we bought. Last time we caught this move right up out. I got out early on it, and but it's held those gains. So maybe it's slow grind higher. I don't know, but every time I hold these for too long, they seem to revert to the mean. So I took my profit and ran. IWM, this is an amazing move here. This is all about people buying the banks into the quarter end and to create quote unquote confidence. IWM was in meltdown mode, and it got rescued big time. So the banks are desperately relying on the fact that a tax cut's going to benefit them, and there is no other secular reason for them to have the valuation that they have. So just bear that in mind. And the rest is small caps. These are small companies. What is in the economic picture that should justify these advanced multiples that we have on these companies right now. And you can see too that money flow and momentum rolled over Friday right off the gate, and this was absolutely a short squeeze. It's just amazing. And if this gets taken out, we go back below 137, then we could see a good chance that we'll test the lows again on IWM. I think this move is pretty much done with the natural gas plays. So if you're in CHK, enjoy your gains, but I would probably hop off the bus right now. Same with XLE. I think there's this might still be flagging a little bit, so there might be a move up to here, and so that's a possibility. And momentum and money flow seem to indicate there's going to be at least a shot higher. So we'll see. We got out of drip earlier this week with some profit. I'd love for this thing to pop and then to roll over so we can get back into drip. UVXY, we talked about vol. Southwestern Energy, we had this trade. We took it. We made profit. Now, this is very interesting looking at this. This is an interesting consolidation here. Okay. What I would do is let it break out of the box. And, if it gets 830-ish, then I would I'd consider buying it, and then you have a move, another 50-cent move here in it, so 830 maybe to 880. So it's been suppressed pretty long. It looks different than the Chesapeake stock, and I think there's an opportunity here to capture another 50-cent move, but it needs to break out of here first. And if it breaks down below like 795 area, then the trade's probably over. So there's your kind of parameters. Okay, GDXJ, we rebought this. We're profitable on this trade. We took another trade earlier in the week that got blown out right away. And so I'm just kind of watching. I need some exposure to the miners. I'm just not ready to go full bore in on some things. And so I'll move my stop up to break even here on Monday. And then if we get a good profit, I'd love to make 10% on this. I just don't see it on this move. But, I'd love for this sell-off to be recovered, and that would give us our 10 to 12% gain. But I think it's going to chop for a while first. I'll be happy to be wrong though. UNG, okay, banged on moving average, consolidating back down. I still think it's $8. We're still getting cold weather in the Northeast and the upper Midwest. And then I think the natural gas trade's probably over for the year. Real estate, it's just, you just got to be a bit of a trader here on this one. And looks pretty impressive, the moves, but it's really all interest rate generated right now. So what the market's telling us here is that they think interest rates have peaked again. So this is like, oh, interest rates are going up, interest rates are coming down. That's all this is. And so, if you want to play real estate until the economic backdrop just overwhelms the interest rate story, is that, I would look at TLT as a guide. And if you think TLT is bottoming, you can get in with IYR. If you think TLT is topping, you can buy SRS. I think those are probably a good rule of thumb for you right now to try to see what other ETF is leading real estate, and I think that would be a good guide for you. Gold pushed up. The only thing I worry about here is shoulder, head, shoulder, back down to VWAP. Just something to keep in mind. I know a lot of people are looking for a breakout here. I'm not in any gold at all, GLD or IAU. I'm just watching it right now. And I'd rather play the miners, so I'll just be looking for those setups at the moment. XIV, see, this is what I'm talking about. It's so weird. So the market was up, and XIV went with it, which made sense. And then these last 3 days, XIV said, we're getting out of Dodge. And the only thing that was momentuming the market was probably just short squeezes. And so I'm looking for XIV to fall back to here. Worst case scenario over time, it'll catch this line here coming up. But XIV, no doubt, is extremely overvalued right now. So you got to be really careful. We're only day trading it when we can. And we'll probably get another trade for it by the end of next week. When the news starts becoming known, especially if we get a good spike down at XIV, there'll be a couple dollar trade to the upside on it this week. Twitter is fluttering, going nowhere. Dust, just look for it to be overbought and short it. XLK, I'm looking for this to roll over, back down to VWAP. Talked to gold already. SLV held up until yesterday, which is interesting. End of the day, kind of sold down, even with a weak dollar. So maybe silver needs to come down to fill this gap before its next move higher. So just be careful if you're long silver. MOS, we're in MOS. It needs to get back over these red dots for me so I can get a move higher. But look at this consolidation. The whole month has gone nowhere. And it usually moves quite a bit. So I usually trade it and usually get good 10% moves one way or the other on it. And we've been in a $2 band here for a whole month. So not really quite sure what's going on. with Mosaic, but we're going into a season where it should get some support and we should walk away with some profit. SLW totally missed that move. It just came out of the rocket, and that's a big move, for it. But it hit moving average and consolidated back. But if it's a bull flag, then we're looking at probably another, point up to maybe 22, 23. Maybe get back, do a double top here. And this is all because of interest rates. So if you get gold, another tell for you. So if TLT is bottoming, okay, and silver's bottoming, then SLW is your play because they're basically a silver finance company. We'll flip past some of these small cap guys. Biotech struggling. We're in BIS. Pushed up over VWAP and came right back down again. So I'm looking forward to test support. I'd like to see if it's going to double bottom or hold this trend line coming up. But I think this is in its cards, and it'll be enough for us to take some nice profit on BIS. I don't know what to say about consumer discretionary. There's no discretionary income, and this whole move is Amazon. And looks like they pushed it all the way up, and last 15, 20 minutes of the trading day, they just started selling it down. But, I mean, this is just a crazy move. So I could see at least coming down here, at least another almost $1. And I wouldn't be surprised if the whole thing got sold off. It's just the games they play. They stick these mega caps in with these ETFs, and everybody's buying the mega caps to keep the indexes from looking terrible and having people pull their money. And so you get a company like Amazon that sits in consumer discretionary, and from the outside looking in, you're like, wow, consumers must be doing okay. And then sans Amazon, and you get a whole different look at ETF. ERX, just looking to see if that thing is going to fail, and maybe XLE takes this roll higher and rolls down. I think ERX will fail, and then we'll have a chance to get into dip again. To drip. We'll dip into drip. Okay, SH, let's see anything else I want to show you. Oil, amazing move right up to VWAP. I suspect that's going to cover the move. And that's what this whole week was for. They basically jammed oil to jam the week and create a positive looking environment. And that's what I like to do, is spend more money at the gas station. That'll get my animal spirits going. So that's why I said laugh when you listen to people talking on the news. They talk about, oh wow, oil's going up, consumers must be confident. No, oil's going up because the Saudis and the Brits and the U.S. bankers were crucifying shorts to keep the price up so they can get their Aramco IPO priced and out into the hands of investors. Here's drip. It looks like a bear flag to me. That's kind of why I held off. We had a nice one-day rally. We caught it right at the bottom and took it up, and I think we made like almost a little more than 0.5% or so. I mean, not 0.5%, 5% on it in one day. And we just hopped off that train and it came right back down. And I'd love for it to flush and then hop on it again. TWM, we're in TWM. We got blown out earlier this week, and we re-entered. And I'm looking for TWM to come back up to like that 23 area at the minimum. Dollar. There's the dollar. So it's just been crazy week, and it dipped earlier in the day on Friday, and then towards the end they pushed it back higher, but that's what gave the metals and miners their early push. And so we'll just keep an eye on what's going on with the dollar. But it looks like another back test, and the dollar should roll back over again too. Little life in the DBA. CRK looks like it'll probably run up to about here, and then we'll have to kind of keep an eye on it. Corn, we're in corn. That was a nice move, but it needs to break out. None of these moves get sustained; they get sold off. So I'm looking for a corn move up to around 1960, 1980, so I can take profit, and then we'll see if corn has any legs this year. We're in coffee. We're a little bit underwater on it. It's also looks like it's getting some life in it again. I like to see another pop on this and be able to take out our 3 to 5% profit on it. Wheat moved with corn, and talked about real estate. And here's one of our manipulation buddies. FXY was of no help on Friday, but it took to the end of the day for the stock market to come in line with this view. So they were squeezing hard people that were selling calls or buying puts. JJG will move with the wheat and corn. Soybeans holding it back a little bit though. Okay, small cap. Sugar, we're in sugar. And we're playing for an end of the month gap down and see if we can get a move. This move into April, May is usually positive for sugar. So I'm looking to see if we can get a move up to around 40 and then hop off the train. Okay, talked about the miners, talked about biotech. This is just reflection of the highly weighted stocks, and we'll see if that Friday late day sell-off is foreshadowing anything. Okay, here's the VIX climbing back to that moving average again. See if we get a breakout next week. And that's where we are. So anyway, if I see anything other interesting topics to explore this weekend, I'll put out another video. But in the meantime, you guys have a great one, and I'll catch you guys on Monday. Thanks. Bye.